Hello, my dear. Come, sit with me for a little while. I'm 78 years old now, and when you've lived as long as I have, you start to see things a bit more clearly. The fog lifts, and what's left is the raw, honest truth. And the truth is, for most of my life, nearly 60 years of it, I was trapped. I was trying to be the perfect woman. And I'm here to tell you, from the bottom of my heart, please don't make the same mistake I did. What does the perfect woman even mean? For me, it meant being what everyone else needed me to be. The perfect daughter, the dutiful wife, the ever-present mother, the agreeable friend, the reliable employee. I wore so many hats, I forgot what my own hair looked like. I spent decades bending myself into shapes that weren't mine, all for a pat on the back, a nod of approval, a fleeting sense of being good. I remember, in my 20s, I had dreams. I wanted to travel, to paint, to write silly poems that made no sense to anyone but me. But the world told me that a good woman gets married, keeps a clean house, and puts her family first. So, I packed away my paintbrushes and my passports. I got married, I learned how to cook the perfect roast, how to iron a shirt so there wasn't a single crease. I became an expert in everyone else's happiness and a novice in my own. My days were a blur of obligations. School runs, grocery shopping, PTA meetings, remembering birthdays, soothing fevers, mediating arguments. I was the family's emotional thermostat, always trying to keep the temperature just right. If someone was unhappy, I felt it was my failure. I absorbed their sadness, their anger, their stress, believing it was my job to fix it, to make it all better. I was so busy managing everyone else's world that I completely forgot to build one of my own. And you know the saddest part? No one ever asked me to do this. Not really. It was a role I took on myself, a script I thought I was supposed to follow. Society hands us this script from a very young age. Be nice. Don't be too loud. Don't be too ambitious. Be accommodating. Be selfless. We are praised for disappearing, for making ourselves smaller to make others more comfortable. And for 60 years, I got an A+ in vanishing. There was this constant, low-level anxiety humming beneath the surface. The fear of disappointing someone, the fear of being judged, the fear of being seen as selfish if I dared to ask, "But what about me? What do I want?" That question felt so dangerous, so forbidden, that I buried it deep, deep down. I convinced myself that my joy came from serving others. But true joy isn't a byproduct of someone else's satisfaction. It has to come from within. My husband was a good man, but he was a man of his time. He saw me as the stable center of his world, the one who kept the home fires burning while he went out and built his career. He never intentionally held me back, but our roles were so clearly defined, so deeply ingrained, that we never questioned them. I was the support system, he was the star. And for a long time, I thought that was enough. But then, the kids grew up and left. My husband retired. The house grew quiet. The constant demands that had defined my existence for so long just stopped. And in that silence, I was faced with a stranger, myself. I was 70 years old, and I didn't know who I was without my roles. What did I like to do? What made me laugh? What were my own thoughts, untangled from the needs and opinions of everyone around me? It was terrifying. I felt like a ghost in my own life. I looked back at all those years, all that time, and all I could see was a sea of other people's needs. I had given everything away, my energy, my time, my dreams, and for what? A tidy house and a reputation of being a nice lady. It felt like a terrible bargain. Regret is a heavy coat to wear in old age. And mine was tailor-made from decades of yes when I wanted to say no, of smiling when I wanted to cry, of staying silent when I wanted to scream, I regretted not taking that art class. I regretted not traveling to Greece when my friend invited me in my 30s. I regretted not telling my husband that sometimes I didn't want to cook dinner, I wanted to go dancing. I regretted not teaching my children that their mother was a person, too, with her own desires and limits. The turning point came one afternoon. I was sitting in my garden, and I saw a little weed stubbornly pushing its way through a crack in the pavement. It wasn't supposed to be there. It wasn't neat or tidy, but it was reaching for the sun, determined to live. And I thought, that little weed has more fight in it than I've had in 60 years. Something inside me broke open that day. It was a quiet, gentle revolution. I went inside, found an old, dusty box in the attic, and pulled out my childhood paint set. My hand trembled as I put the brush to the paper. The first thing I painted was a crooked, colorful, messy flower. It was glorious. It was mine. From that day on, I started choosing myself. It began with small things. I started saying no. No, I can't babysit on Friday. I have plans. My plans? To sit and read a book in total silence. No, I don't feel like making a big dinner tonight. Let's just have sandwiches. I started voicing my opinions, even if they were different. I started taking that art class. At 72, I was the oldest student by 40 years, and I didn't care one bit. I was finally living. My husband was a little bewildered at first. He was used to the old me. But, you know what? He adapted. He started cooking more. He started asking about my paintings. He saw me light up in a way he hadn't seen in 50 years. Our relationship became more of a partnership, less of a hierarchy. We started discovering each other again, not as roles, but as people. So, if you are listening to this, whether you're 20 or 40 or 60, please hear me. Your time is the most precious thing you will ever own. Don't give it all away. Being a good person does not mean erasing yourself. Self-care is not selfish. It is survival. Your dreams are not frivolous. They are the fuel for your soul. You do not exist to make everyone else comfortable. You are not a service station for other people's needs. You are a whole, complete person, all on your own. It is not your job to be perfect. It is your job to be you. Loudly, messily, imperfectly, and gloriously you. Do and wait until the house is quiet and the years are behind you to ask what you want. Ask now. Ask today. Take the trip. Learn the guitar. Start the business. Leave the relationship that makes you feel small. Say no, so you can say a powerful, life-affirming yes to yourself. I wasted 60 years trying to earn a gold star for being the perfect woman. Now I know that the real prize is looking in the mirror at the end of the day and recognizing the person you see. It's knowing that you lived your day with authenticity and courage. My life didn't begin at 70, but a new, more vibrant chapter certainly did. I just wish I hadn't waited so long to start writing it. Please, don't you wait. Your life is happening right now. Don't be a supporting character in your own story. Pick up the pen and write yourself in as the hero. You deserve nothing less. I hope my story touches you in some way. If there's one lesson that really hit home for you, I would be so honored if you shared it in the comments below. I love reading your stories, and it makes me feel a little less alone in mine. What is one thing you might change after hearing my ramblings? Thank you for spending this time with me. It means the world. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this one. Real advice from people who've lived it. Now go on. Go be beautifully, imperfectly you.